Lunch is ground beef with banana and honey. It's actually so good. 200 calories and 22 grams of protein. This looks like something you'd feed a pit bull on its birthday. Yeah, look, I'm not putting bananas in my ground beef, you psycho. Oh, it feels so good to be back. Don't you agree? Hope you guys had a great holiday season. Let's get to it, shall we? I wonder how long you could drive in a roundabout before a cop would be like, hey, you can't do that anymore. Pretty sure somebody did a video about that. And he made it for like 3 hours before a police officer came by and said, dog, you gotta chill out. Something like that. Stop leaving your kids around those extra old folks. I asked my little nephew how old he was turning. He said, if the Lord sees fit, 6 in May. God damn it. Girls actually text each other like, I'm meeting a guy allegedly named Brian here. If he murders me, here's his Bumble pic so he can be brought to justice. And then the reply is like, you got it, girl. Have fun tonight. Imagine going through a bad breakup in 1823, and then Beethoven drops Moonlight Sonata. Oh, I bet that was an absolute banger. I don't know how the average person would have heard it, though, because you would have to go hear that played somewhere. Like no one had phonographs and record players and whatnot, or at least the average person definitely would not have been able to afford that. There's no way, right? I don't know what year the phonograph was invented. Here, let me see. I bet it was a little bit later, though. Let's see. Phonograph invention. February 1878. So, yeah, I don't think it would have really mattered in the grand scheme because, like I said, you're going to have to go hear it in person somehow. This is the most humiliating day of my life. Hello, Alexander. Hope your evening has been most enjoyable. Would you care to receive some artful photographs of my nude form? Why do you sext like Jigsaw? Come on. You absolutely did that on purpose. Who the hell says it like that? Would you care to receive some artful photographs of my nude form? Hello? Map of all the countries where the Prime Minister went for a swim and literally just disappeared one day and was never found and none of the citizens gave a shit. Where did the Prime Minister go swimming? Was it in a pool? A pool connected to another universe? Or did he decide to pick the wrong beach? What happened? Did anybody actually get to the bottom of this at all? I'm assuming no. As you said, no one gave a shit. Me watching Bake Off? You fool! You can't dip the walnut whirl in the tempered chocolate. You have to drizzle over the top to achieve the characteristic wobble of the coffee ganache Parisian cafe style. Me baking at home? I forgot to put apples in the apple pie. Gen Z will never understand growing up with parents who basically poured a gallon of milk into our body with a big funnel every day because Big Milk told them that if we didn't drink enough, our bones would go soft and we'd turn into pudding people and get kidnapped at the mall. Man, isn't drinking too much milk also a real bad thing too? But yeah, you guys remember that? Got Milk? You guys remember Got Milk? Doesn't really exist anymore, at least as far as I can tell. I'm sure if you're in an older school that never takes any of its posters down or anything like that, you'll still see some remnants of it. Stop shaming people for reading kids' books. Adult books are about sad people having affairs, while kids' books have a magic treehouse or a worm driving an apple. You tell me who's winning. I do genuinely agree with this. There are plenty of adult books that are fantastic. Do not get me wrong. I'm not saying one is inherently better than the other. However, I still love going back and reading Warrior Cats. I still love going back and reading the City of Ember series, or my favorite book as a kid, Dragon Rider. Dude, I'll read that crap all day long, because it's fun. It's whimsical. It's very easy to get through, because it's written for teenagers, or 10-year-olds, or whatever. I don't care. It's just fun. And as this person put it, they have worms driving apples. You can't really beat that. Unless, you're going to read House of Leaves. Then that beats it. No cake in a cake looks like object video is in fact cake. It's a pound of fondant wrapped around a miserable little piece of bread, the consistency of florist's foam. Beautiful art to be sure, but each is a lie wrapped in another lie, as edible as the object it apes. That's true. No one would actually want to take a bite of any of these objects at all. Apple CEO confirms the tech giants are working on a driverless car. The Apple Car. It's the year 2032. You're driving on the highway to work in your Apple Car when you hear the news that the new Apple Car 2 is coming out. Suddenly, the speed of your car goes from 95 to 25. Chaos ensues. I have less than zero interest in self-driving vehicles. I just don't. I have no interest. No interest whatsoever, all right? Humans suck ass at it. We're all very bad. Genuinely. all of us, but I don't need this. I don't need something else to be controlling the giant weapon I'm going to work in. I don't need that. Absolutely not. Whether it's code or some dude somewhere with an Xbox 360 controller, I don't need any of that nonsense. One day, some guy is going to see me eating a whole rotisserie chicken with my bare hands in my parked car and think, that's her. She's the one. I mean, who the hell wouldn't think that if they saw someone just absolutely going to town on a rotisserie chicken? As a relatively successful and busy man who lives in the city, my greatest fear is losing my girlfriend to a hometown hunk with a young son who teaches her the true meaning of Christmas. Nursing school doesn't prepare you for the number of elderly patients who will casually confess to decade-old murders. Are they really confessing, or have they just kind of lost their marbles because they're old? They're very old. Are they just saying shit? Or did Susie actually poison her husband 45 years ago? Trying to gossip with your dad is so hard, because first, you have to introduce the characters, then give the plot line, then dish him the debts, and then you have to repeat it again because he wasn't listening the first time. When did you become radicalized by the US healthcare non-system? I'm rubbing my head after getting a cavity filled. Dental assistant says, do you want a Tylenol? I say please, and she leaves to get me one. $15 on the bill. I thought she meant like from her purse. Yeah, it's mind-blowing that it's legal to do that, where they charge you kind of what they're going to be charging your insurance. $15 on the bill. Kiss my ass. We've all got to collectively just start going, no. Oh no, you're going to try and go after my credit? I don't give a f***. I don't care. No, not going to pay that. Shouldn't be paying that. We pay tens of thousands of dollars a year per person to be treated like this. No. Craigslist tip. If you're buying from a guy who looks visibly divorced, ask him if he's married and listen to his story. If you follow this dialogue tree and make sympathetic remarks, you may get up to a 30% discount on your item. Even more if he's selling a sports car. Damn. That's a good idea there, Donald. My brother's texting this girl, and apparently she's on punishment, so she's got no phone. He created a Google Doc, and they talk by editing the document. Don't ever say you can't talk to someone. Interesting. I don't know how long that would work, though. They'd get caught eventually, right? Here's the problem with fruit. It's inconsistent. Some apples are delicious. Some taste bad. Sometimes blueberries are great. Sometimes they're disgusting. You know what's the same every time? Doritos. Ooh, I never thought about it that way. You're right about all of that. I don't think there's a single part of this that could possibly be incorrect. My husband's dying wish was to make people think he led a double life. We had 3 blacked out Land Rovers follow the cortege, and actors in suits and trench coats observed the funeral from a distance. He was a bank manager for TSB, and to this day, haven't told anybody the truth. That's a fun idea. That's a really fun idea. When I die, I'm going to be cremated, but I still want there to be some final prank I pull on people. I don't know what it exactly will be. Maybe this, probably not. I want to think of something on my own. If you pay me $50, I'll show up to your funeral but stand really far away, holding a black umbrella regardless of the weather, so that people will think you died with a dark and interesting secret. Hey, this is like a different version of what we just read about. See, that's a good idea. Although, it might not be. Someone might take it the wrong way and beat you up or something because they thought you were like the mistress or whatever. My worst nightmare is Spotify randomly throwing out an Ed Sheeran song whilst I'm driving. Then I crash and die, but it keeps playing. So the first responders think I was an Ed Sheeran fan, and they tell my mom, and I end up being cremated to the f***ing Shape of You. Oh, man, that would be awesome, right, guy? Eyelashes are supposed to prevent things from going into your eyes, but whenever I have something in my eye, it's always an eyelash. Ironic, isn't it? You smartass. Is gym really worth it? Was there some sort of study that says seasoning decreases muscle growth, or do bodybuilders just eat the food equivalent of a suicide note every day voluntarily? If I had to guess, it has something to do maybe with sodium levels or whatever, I don't know. Maybe they don't have a real concept of what seasoning truly is, so they assume it's just tons of salt, which isn't exactly going to help you not feel bloated, you know what I mean? But I don't have any real ideas. In memory of Ellen Shannon, aged 26 years, who was fatally burned March 21st, 1870, by the explosion of a lamp filled with R.E. Danforth's non-explosive burning fluid? Couldn't sleep last night. Kept thinking about how the Green Ranger had a dagger that was a flute that sounded like a synthesizer that's trying to sound like a trumpet, and he blew into it with his helmet on. You're not supposed to think too hard when you're watching Power Rangers at all, okay? It's Power Rangers. Stop thinking about it. Told my kids I couldn't find the hot cocoa powder, to which my 4-year-old said maybe someone took it and hid it behind my bed, which is a suspiciously specific theory. Well, was he correct? Did someone indeed do that? I'm willing to bet that it did indeed happen. My 4-year-old pretended she was a hired cleaner yesterday. As she helped me clean, she asked if I had any kids. After telling her about my 2, I asked if she had any of her own. Turns out she has 5 kids and has been married to a man named Carlin for 30 years. You think you know someone? She came up with the name Carlin? There's no way. They should not give cops horses. Give those horses to postal workers so I can sit on my porch, drink an iced tea, and then a guy rides up on a horse and says, "Hey pal, got a letter for you here." God, that would be fun, but I'd feel so bad for the horses. The horses would have to be used exclusively for incredibly short, small city routes. Like 1 horse per day, that's it. They all get a huge break after that, $100 a night hotel. Hi, we have you for 3 nights. Checkouts whenever, not true. Enjoy the 24-hour gym and pool that smells like chlorine and feet, respectively. Unlimited breakfast. Eat Costco sausages till you die. We don't care. $275 a night hotel. Oh, His Royal Highness expects free Wi-Fi, does he? Oh man, when have you ever gone to a hotel where checkout was whenever? Genuinely. There should be a hotline you can call where you can safely pronounce words you've only ever read out loud for the first time, and they say, "Oh, sweetie," and then kindly explain how it's pronounced. That would be a great idea. Having someone go, "Oh, you're stupid, let me explain it." That sounds great. I'm rewatching House, and holy crap, this show is bananas. They just let this man limp around doing medical crimes all day, every day, including Christmas. Patient, I have a cough. Dr. House, first of all, your shoes look a little loose. Your hair is ugly. Chase, check this man's butthole for worms. Dr. Chase. Unbelievable! I'm not gonna do it. Only the second case ever of butthole worms. How did you're playing an air guitar on his cane? That show is wild. I kinda hope that they do like a movie or something after all these years. I'd love to see them all back again, committing serious crimes, but saving one person's life every episode. Why does everyone say housewife or house husband when house spouse is not only gender neutral, but rhymes? Wait, spouse rhymes with house? I always pronounced it booze in my head. Why is your language so weird? Because English beats up other languages in dark alleys, then rifles through their pockets for loose grammar and spare vocabulary. Okay. It's terrifying to realize that any collection of 3 to 6 white guys you see walking around could be Imagine Dragons, and there's no way to know. I never thought about that. Oh man, that's actually a pretty horrifying thought. Man, am I gonna start getting scared to go outside because of this shit? It's Catholic canon that in the Garden of Gethsemane? I've said this word before in the past. Gethsemane, Jesus Christ saw every sin committed by human beings, which means that he watched a guy blasting rope to Waluigi hentai and still decided to sacrifice himself for humanity. Absolute legend. Is that a sin? Is it a sin to... I mean, specifically, I guess, the Waluigi hentai, God probably would consider that a sin. But is it a sin just to jerk it? Like an actual sin? Or is it just something they tell you not to do? I'm curious. Let's ask Jesus for comment. Are the Amish allowed to level up the tech tree every couple hundred years, or is it a permanently frozen kind of thing? Like, in 100 years, are they allowed to invent the radio? Has nothing to do with whether or not they're allowed to. They specifically choose to not utilize electricity. Those suckers do make a kick-ass space heater, though, I'll give them that. You wake up. You're still a lizard, sunning on a red rock. It was all a dream. The concept of selling feet pics to pay back student loans is already losing its meaning as you open and lick your own eyeballs to moisten them. Time to eat a bug. Raising children is hard, but it's all worth it for the one moment when you come back inside from hauling firewood all morning and your child runs up to you, smiling, and tells you, "Log-pilled. You're a log-pilled fire cell. Heat-maxing. Winter-coated." If you were ever a lunch lady in a small public elementary school in East Orange, New Jersey in the early 80s and you snuck a small shy girl with blue eyes and bangs a peanut butter sandwich on the day she had no lunch money, know I have loved you my entire life and I hope you've been happy and healthy. Lunch money. What a concept that we have over here in the good old United States of ass. Absolutely amazing. Children have to... Sure, they're not actually the ones having to pay for lunch, but it's stupid as f***, ain't it? Ah, that's crazy. Good on that lunch lady, though. If your name is Maggie, you attend North Carolina State University, and your grandparents come to Chick-fil-A in Mount Airy, you should know that they adore you, and they were telling me how proud they are of you. They told me you made the dean's list. Good job, girl. Just found out you can watch a movie at 7:45 in the morning if you want to. Shit's magical. That, honestly, it doesn't sound very... I don't know why I don't like the idea of watching a movie, like, in the morning. It's weird. Like, I'll watch a movie at 1 or 2 in the morning, sure, but like in, like, the daylight morning, no, it feels weird. Mankind wasn't meant to work in December. We were meant to hide from wolves, drink, and pray our autumn harvest will last us through the dark months. Yeah, we were totally meant for that. Driving through the Midwest is just absolute nothingness. And then every 70 miles, you see God is real, hell is real too, followed by a sign for a store that says XXL dildos. The God is real, hell is real too ones are hilarious to see because those are everywhere. Boys are always like, what the hell, you never hang out with me. First of all, your idea of hanging out is getting me high while your mom is at work and then trying to f me while Naruto plays in the background. Alright, yeah, I could see the problem here. Nothing makes me feel more disconnected from my fellow Americans than the Netflix top 10 list. Oh, do you have better taste? Is your taste so good? Sometimes I think about how I wrote a paper 2 weeks late in the 7th grade and slipped it under my teacher's desk after putting a footprint on it, and she apologized for losing my paper and giving me a 0 and corrected my grade to a B+, and digital submission has just ruined the magic. Yeah, there's no tricking them teachers anymore. But look, 2 weeks late? Come the f*** on, Mike. Grow up. Come on, 7th grade? Grow up. You're an adult. Okay. Oh, that is crazy, though. 2 weeks late? I'm not gonna have your back at that point, dog. Like, 5 minutes, an hour a day? Something weird happened? Sure, but 2 weeks? Goddamn, what the f***? Did you die? Being a grandpa must be tough. Some baby mispronounces a word, and suddenly your name was Peepo for the last 30 years of your life. Yeah? Chasing after a ping pong ball is wildly dehumanizing. So is chasing after a tennis ball. New York wants to build this U-shaped skyscraper. It's so big that a plane could easily go through it. Why? Yeah, blah, 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 stupid plane building joke, whatever, but why would, if this is true, what's the purpose? And how much does that stupid penthouse at the top cost? I would not feel safe in this sort of thing. It actually, I don't think it's real because it looks like that really skinny, weird apartment building where your average condo or whatever you want to call it's like $50 million. Can you imagine living in that, though? I'd be horrified. Every single day of my life, I would think it's going to get blown over in the wind or just collapse because that doesn't look like it should be standing up at all, all right? I've had nightmares about being in penthouses and apartments 100 floors up. Absolutely not. Folks who don't give you a recipe because it's a family secret are really odd. First of all, it's not like your family's living off these cinnamon rolls, and secondly, you told me you cheat on your wife before, so, like, is it f***ing clove or not? Millennials, quit whining. I paid off $150,000 in student loans and own a $400,000 home because I save. It's not that hard. I make coffee at home, bus instead of Uber, shop sales, had parents pay off my loans and buy me a house because I'm daddy's special boy, and got Hulu with ads. What my girlfriend thought. First 4 dates. Nice shirt. Wow, a second nice shirt. Okay, first shirt again. He has 2 shirts. Why is sleeping at night so hard, but sleeping in the morning is like drifting away on a soft, fluffy cloud while Adele sings you a lullaby? I've wondered shit like that my entire life. Why is it so easy at certain times of the day? Why is it so easy for me to fall asleep in the car on the way home? But then when I actually get into the house, I'm wired and can't do shit. As a kid, I thought sleepovers were wild because we played video games for 10 hours. Then I heard about girl sleepovers, and they're wild, man. They gossip, eat 40 pounds of food, and take blood oaths, and host fight night, and sacrifice the weakest member to the goddess of the moon. Like, what the hell? Wait. On your sleepovers, you didn't eat 40 pounds of food? Dude, we were pounding so much caffeine. If I were to drink that amount of caffeine today, I'd probably need to go to the hospital. We were eating the junkiest junk food of them all. I think at one point, like 15 years ago, I ordered for myself like $16 worth of Taco Bell just for me. And that was like 14, 15 years ago. Like these days, 3 items comes to that total. But back then, oh my God. You gotta remember, when the 5-layer burrito launched, it was 89 cents. I ate enough food to kill God. Thank you for bringing your Bluetooth speaker to the beach. I didn't want to hear the sounds of the waves and birds and wind. I wanted to hear the Spotify playlist you listen to everywhere else in your life because you hate to be alone with your thoughts for even 1 minute. Thank you! Look, I would normally agree. I get it. I would normally agree. However, you are in the most popular public space in any city that has a beach. You are in the most popular public space. Shut the f*** up. A blue whale's anus can stretch up to 3.5 feet, making it the second largest asshole next to people that talk on speakerphone in public. If men are stronger than women, why do male characters in video games need full plate armor while the women only need a chainmail bikini? Checkmate. My Japanese mom said if I got on America's Got Talent, she'd pretend she doesn't support my comedic career and no longer speaks to me to give me a solid backstory. She said she'd plan a dramatic moment where she calls for the first time in 5 years. I love her so much. Me thinks boyfriend is mad because he's being very quiet. What you thinking about? About how bike tires are made. Ladies, we gotta stop worrying what the boys are thinking because 9 times out of 10 it's some dumb shit like this. I'm a dentist and I graduated with 68 other ones. I've met even more in 13 years as a dentist. None of us have been asked shit about our opinions on toothpastes. Well, that's because you're not part of the f***ing panel of those dentists. You're not part of that. You're just a dentist. Normal people. I met this guy. He was average. Victorian writers. He was, in the way of most men, possessed of a rudimentary intelligence. His countenance ordinary, his bearing mild, with some weakness about his shoulders. His hair the color of ash. He spoke of the weather. Yeah, come on. We need people to talk like this again. Please write in a fun way. Purple up that prose. Leaving a watermelon on someone's doorstep in the middle of a night is a pretty inexpensive way to occupy a portion of their mind forever. It's like that TV guy. You know, the one that was going around for a little while and leaving CRTs on people's doorsteps while wearing one on his head? Don't post wicked spoilers. So fun fact, it's actually a 21-year-old musical adapted from a 29-year-old book, which is based on an 85-year-old movie, which is adapted from a 124-year-old book. There are certain cutoffs for certain movies where I think, shut up about spoilers. Tired of it. At a certain point, grow up, genuinely. A woman could have 4 broken limbs and massive internal injuries due to an epic battle with a fire-breathing dragon, and the first question the doctor's office will ask is, "What's the date of your last menstrual period?"